I'm Jo from Specialist Language Courses. We are OET premium preparation providers, which means we are experienced and skilled in what we do, helping people achieve success in the OET exam. So in today's video, we're going to look at how you are examined in the OET speaking test. There are two sets of criteria, linguistic and the clinical communication criteria.
In this video, we're only going to look at the linguistic criteria. We will look at an overview of the criteria, what it means, and how to meet the criteria.
So how are you assessed? Well, there are 4 linguistic criteria which the examiner looks at.
These are intelligibility, fluency, appropriateness of language, and resources of grammar and expression. And each one is marked on a scale from 0 to 6, with 6 as the highest band score. Here is an excerpt from the criteria with the 4 categories at the top, and the top marks ranging from 4 to 6 for each category. You can download a copy of this criteria from the OET website.
So how can you use this criteria in your OET preparation?
It's a good idea to focus on the highest band score, band 6, and understand what the examiner is looking for. Aim for this score when you practice. Think about creating a checklist and practice to see if you can perform to the criteria.
But first we need to fully understand what each criterion means. Let's examine them in more detail. We'll begin with intelligibility.
What does it mean? Basically, a high score of 6 means that the examiner can understand you without any effort or strain. So you should make sure that your speech is easily understood, stress, rhythm and intonation are used effectively, and that your native accent has no negative effect on the listener.
What does fluency mean? Well, it's really about being able to speak with an even pace and without any major hesitation, so searching for words or grammatical structures.
You should make sure that you speak at a normal speed and don't show hesitation searching for words or structures.
So the next criterion is appropriateness of language. So what would be considered appropriate language for a medical role play?
The most important thing is that you can talk to the patient in language that they understand. We call it layman's or layperson's terms. So try not to use complex medical or technical terms that might confuse the patient. For example, say painkillers rather than analgesics.
And the last of the criteria is grammar and expression.
What does that cover? Well, it's important to demonstrate that you have a wide range of grammar structures and vocabulary. Also, if you forget a word or a grammar structure, you need to be able to express yourself in another way, that is, paraphrasing. Linking your sentences together with suitable phrases is also important to make your speech coherent.
So how do you perform well so that you get high marks for the linguistic criteria? Let's take each one of them again in turn and have a look at how we can do this.
For intelligibility, you need to speak very clearly, especially vowel sounds. Pitch your voice well. No mumbling, so talking into your mouth, or fading out at the end of your sentences, like that. So don't fade out at the end of your sentences. And focus on your rhythm and word stress to emphasize meaning. And for fluency, you should try and speak at a normal rate, not too fast or too slow. Try and keep your flow of speech as smooth as possible and pause at appropriate places for emphasis.
What can you do for appropriateness of language?
Be aware that you are speaking to a patient or carer who perhaps might have very little medical knowledge, or they won't understand medical terminology. So don't say something like, "The medication will be administered intravenously." Instead, say something like, "We'll give you the medication by connecting a drip to your arm. Is that okay?" Make sure the tone of voice suits the situation. So for example, if a patient is anxious, use a soft tone, and this shows empathy. If you need to instruct the patient on, say, a lifestyle change that they are reluctant to make, try and use a firmer tone. For example, it's really important that you try and cut down on your daily sugar intake. And for resources of grammar and expression, showing the examiner that you have a wide range of vocabulary is demonstrated by the ability to paraphrase. When you can't remember a particular word or expression that you wish to use, you should be able to say it in another way instead of hesitating for too long. It's also a good idea if you learn some everyday idiomatic language. For example, a patient might say they are feeling under the weather or out of sorts, and it's good to know what they mean. Practice explaining medical conditions and procedures and linking your phrases together into sentences that flow rather than very short sentences. For example, instead of saying, eat less fatty food, eat more fresh vegetables, you could say, try to cut down on your intake of fatty foods by substituting them for fresh vegetables. The second sentence shows a wider range of grammar and vocabulary.
Top tips for performing well on the linguistic criteria. Make sure you really understand what the criteria mean. Make a checklist as a reminder to focus your practice. And practice with your teacher, colleagues, family or friends. And that's the linguistic criteria. If you would like help with the clinical communication criteria, check out this video. So thanks for watching. If you would like more strategies and tips on how to prepare, check out our website, links below. Please like and share so we can help more people achieve success in the OET exam. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Bye!